There's a profound wisdom in understanding the boundaries of giving. While generosity can be a beautiful trait, it becomes harmful when misplaced or misunderstood. Particularly in relationships, the dynamics of giving shape how we connect, grow, and flourish with others. Today we'll explore 9 things you must never give to a woman. These aren't about withholding love, respect, or care, far from it. Instead, they're lessons about discernment. Giving without boundaries can lead to being taken for granted, losing your identity, or even creating unhealthy dynamics in the relationship. By the end of this speech, you'll gain insights into why certain things should never be given. Not to diminish your value, but to protect it. So if you've ever wondered whether you're giving too much of yourself or the wrong things to the wrong people, this is for you. Before we begin, if you love healthy relationships and you hate being taken for granted, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video for more insightful speeches like this. So, 1. Never give up your self-respect. When it comes to relationships, your self-respect is the foundation of your worth. The moment you sacrifice it to please someone, including a woman, you begin to lose the essence of who you are. Self-respect is not arrogance. It's the quiet confidence of knowing your value, standing firm in your beliefs, and not allowing anyone to undermine your dignity. In relationships, it's easy to fall into the trap of constantly seeking approval. You might find yourself doing things you wouldn't normally do, agreeing to things you're uncomfortable with, or tolerating disrespect, all because you're afraid of losing her. But here's the truth. A relationship built on the erosion of your self-respect is a relationship doomed to fail. A woman who genuinely values you will never ask you to sacrifice your integrity. Consider this. If you don't respect yourself, why would anyone else? Self-respect sets the tone for how others treat you. It's not about being inflexible or unwilling to compromise. It's about drawing the line when your core values or principles are at stake. When you stand firm in your self-respect, you not only command respect from others, but you also create an environment of mutual respect in the relationship. Let's paint a scenario. Imagine a man who constantly apologizes for things he didn't do wrong, who agrees to unreasonable demands just to avoid conflict, or who allows himself to be belittled in the name of keeping the peace. Over time, this behavior doesn't earn him love. It earns him pity, and worse, disdain. The relationship becomes imbalanced, and the woman, consciously or unconsciously, begins to see him as someone she can manipulate or control. Protect your self-respect by setting boundaries. If something doesn't align with your values or makes you feel small, speak up. The right person will honor your boundaries and appreciate the strength it takes to stand by them. And if someone doesn't respect your self-respect, they don't deserve your time, energy, or love. 2. Never give your entire identity. In relationships, it's natural to want to merge your life with your partner's. But there's a line you must never cross. Losing your own identity in the process. Who you are, your passions, dreams, hobbies, and even quirks is what makes you unique. Giving all of that up for someone else, even for a woman you deeply care about, can be one of the most damaging things you do to yourself in the relationship. Here's what often happens. You get so caught up in making her happy or adjusting to her world that you slowly start to abandon the things that make you happy. Maybe you stop hanging out with your friends because she doesn't like them. Maybe you give up hobbies you love because she finds them unimportant. Or perhaps you start molding yourself into who you think she wants you to be, suppressing parts of yourself in the process. But here's the irony. The very things you gave up, your personality, independence, and individuality, are often what attracted her to you in the first place. By losing those aspects, you risk losing the spark that brought you together. Moreover, without your own identity, you become overly dependent on her for validation, purpose, and happiness, which can create an unhealthy dynamic. A relationship should be about 2 whole people coming together to complement each other, not one person sacrificing themselves to complete the other. You should have your own goals, interests, and support systems outside the relationship. It's not selfish, it's essential. When you nurture your individuality, you bring a richer, fuller version of yourself into the relationship, which benefits both of you. Think about it this way. If your relationship were to end tomorrow, would you still recognize yourself? Would you still have your passions, your friendships, and your sense of self? If the answer is no, it's time to reevaluate. A strong, lasting relationship thrives when both partners maintain their individuality while sharing their lives together. So, never give up your identity. Stay true to who you are, and let your relationship enhance your life, not consume it. 3. Never give her complete control over your decisions. One of the most important aspects of any relationship is partnership. Two people making decisions together, respecting each other's perspectives, and growing as a team. However, there's a significant difference between collaboration and giving someone total control over your choices. Never allow a woman, or anyone for that matter, to dictate every aspect of your life. It starts subtly. Perhaps she offers advice on small decisions, like what to wear or where to eat. Over time, this influence can grow into a pattern where she feels entitled to steer major areas of your life, your career, your finances, your friendships, and even your beliefs. While she may have good intentions, giving her total control robs you of your autonomy. It's your life, and you have a right to make choices based on your own values, goals, and aspirations. Here's the problem with surrendering your decision-making power. It creates an imbalance in the relationship. A healthy partnership thrives on mutual respect and trust. When one person holds all the power, it not only breeds resentment, but also diminishes your confidence and ability to think independently. Over time, you may begin to doubt your instincts and second-guess every choice you make. Let's consider an example. Imagine a man who lets his partner decide everything: where they live, how he spends his money, and who he's allowed to hang out with. While it may seem like he's being agreeable or avoiding conflict, he's actually sacrificing his ability to lead his own life. This level of control can lead to emotional dependency, and ultimately, he becomes a shadow of himself, unable to stand up for what he wants or needs. Instead, strive for balance. Value her input, but don't lose sight of your own voice. If you're facing a big decision, listen to her perspective, but make sure the final choice aligns with your values and long-term goals. The right woman will appreciate a man who can lead with confidence and decisiveness while still being open to collaboration. Remember, relationships should empower you to be the best version of yourself, not a version controlled by someone else. Protect your independence and never hand over the steering wheel of your life to anyone. 4. Never give her false promises. One of the quickest ways to erode trust in any relationship is by making promises you can't or don't intend to keep. A false promise, whether it's about commitment, financial stability, or even future plans, creates a foundation of insecurity and doubt. No matter how small or big the promise, when you break it, the damage can be lasting. When you tell a woman you'll do something, it's not just your words she hears, it's the trust you're asking her to place in you. Making promises without following through shows a lack of reliability and can lead to resentment over time. Whether it's promising to spend more time together, to work on yourself, or to build a future, your actions must always align with your words. Consider this scenario. You tell her you'll change certain behaviors, like being more attentive or working on your temper. She believes you because she cares, and she invests her emotions in your words. But then weeks or months pass, and nothing changes. What happens? Disappointment sets in, followed by frustration. The more this pattern repeats, the more trust deteriorates. False promises can also lead to unnecessary emotional damage. For example, telling her you see a future with her when you're unsure, or assuring her of financial stability when you're struggling may seem like a way to keep her happy in the moment. But when reality doesn't match your words, the fallout can be devastating, not just for her, but for the relationship as a whole. The solution is simple but powerful. Only make promises you know you can keep. And if you can't keep one, be honest about it. Integrity matters more than trying to maintain a perfect image. A woman who values you will appreciate your honesty far more than a string of empty assurances. Ultimately, relationships thrive on trust, and trust is built on consistency. Be a man of your word. Say what you mean and mean what you say. By doing so, you create a solid foundation where love and respect can flourish. 5. Never give her your undivided attention at the expense of your goals. In the early stages of a relationship, it's natural to want to spend as much time as possible with the person you care about. But there's a fine line between giving someone attention and neglecting your own ambitions. Never let your desire to please a woman come at the cost of your personal goals, career, or dreams. Your goals are part of what make you who you are. They give your life purpose, structure, and meaning. When you abandon them for the sake of a relationship, you not only lose sight of what drives you, but you also risk creating an unhealthy dynamic where she becomes the sole focus of your life. This isn't fair to you or to her. Here's the thing. Most women are deeply attracted to a man with ambition. A man who is working towards something, whether it's a career, a creative passion, or a long-term dream, demonstrates focus, discipline, and purpose. These qualities are magnetic. On the other hand, when you drop everything to cater to her needs, you risk becoming overly dependent on the relationship for your sense of identity and fulfillment. Consider a scenario. A man in a promising career begins to skip important meetings, turn down opportunities, or procrastinate on his goals because he prioritizes spending all his time with his partner. Initially, she might appreciate the attention, but over time, this behavior can become a turnoff. Why? Because it shows a lack of balance and long-term vision. She may start to see him as someone who's willing to stagnate for the sake of convenience. The key is balance. Give her attention and care, but never at the cost of your aspirations. Carve out time for your work, your growth, and your passions. The right woman will not only understand this, but will also support you in your journey. In fact, a healthy relationship is one where both partners encourage each other to chase their dreams and achieve their fullest potential. Remember, your goals aren't just about you. They're about the life you're building, both individually and potentially as a couple. By staying committed to your ambitions, you create a stronger foundation for the relationship and ensure that you never lose yourself in the process. 6. Never give her control over your finances. Money, while not the foundation of a relationship, plays a critical role in how you build and sustain your life. When it comes to managing finances, it's essential to keep control of your own financial resources, no matter how deeply you care for someone. Giving a woman, or anyone else, unchecked control over your money can lead to power imbalances, conflicts, and even financial ruin. It might start innocently enough. Perhaps she asks for your credit card to make a small purchase, or suggests taking charge of the household budget. But if you relinquish control without boundaries, you may find yourself in situations where your financial well-being is at risk. Worse, in some cases, financial dependency or manipulation can creep in, leaving you vulnerable and without a safety net. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine a man who earns a decent income but hands over all his financial decisions to his partner. She manages his accounts, decides how money is spent, and even makes significant financial commitments without his input. Over time, he realizes that his savings have dwindled, debts have accumulated, and he has little control over his own financial future. By the time he tries to reclaim control, the damage is already done. This doesn't mean you shouldn't share financial responsibilities or collaborate on money matters in a relationship. In fact, open communication and transparency about finances are critical for long-term success. However, it's important to maintain a level of autonomy. Ensure that you know where your money is going. Set clear boundaries about spending, and keep separate accounts for personal financial security. Additionally, be cautious about giving money to a woman who consistently asks for financial support without showing accountability. While it's natural to want to help someone you care about, repeatedly rescuing someone financially can breed dependency and strain the relationship. A healthy partnership should encourage independence and mutual contribution, not one-sided financial reliance. By keeping control of your finances, you not only protect your future, but also ensure that the relationship remains balanced and respectful. A woman who values you will appreciate your financial responsibility and won't pressure you to give up control. 7. Never give her your emotional stability. Your emotional well-being is one of the most valuable assets you possess. It defines how you handle challenges, interact with others, and navigate life's ups and downs. While it's important to share emotions and build a deep connection in a relationship, giving a woman full control over your emotional stability is dangerous for both you and the relationship. Here's why. When you place your emotional health entirely in someone else's hands, you create an unhealthy dependency. This means your mood, confidence, and sense of self-worth start revolving around her actions, words, or even approval. If she's happy, you're happy. If she's upset, your whole world crumbles. This kind of emotional reliance can lead to insecurity, anxiety, and a lack of personal resilience. It's not her job to regulate your emotions or fix your inner struggles. Relationships thrive when both individuals are emotionally strong and capable of managing their own feelings. A woman may care deeply for you, but if she feels solely responsible for your emotional well-being, it can become overwhelming. Over time, this dynamic can create tension and even drive her away. Let's break it down with a scenario. Imagine a man who constantly seeks validation from his partner. If she doesn't compliment him, he feels unworthy. If she has a bad day and acts distant, he immediately assumes it's his fault and spirals into self-doubt. Over time, she might feel suffocated by the pressure to constantly reassure him, leading to frustration and emotional burnout. The solution is to cultivate your own emotional strength. This doesn't mean shutting her out or avoiding vulnerability. It's about balancing emotional openness with self-reliance. Develop the tools to handle stress, disappointment, or conflict without relying entirely on her for comfort. Therapy, mindfulness practices, or simply having a solid support system outside the relationship can make a huge difference. When you're emotionally stable, you not only bring more to the relationship, but also create a safe, supportive environment for both of you to thrive. A strong, healthy woman wants a partner who can stand on his own 2 feet emotionally, not someone who leans on her for every emotional need. 8. Never give her the power to define your worth. One of the most common pitfalls in relationships is allowing someone else to dictate how you see yourself. While it's natural to value a partner's opinion, it becomes problematic when her approval or disapproval starts defining your sense of worth. Never give a woman or anyone else the power to determine how valuable you are as a person. Your self-worth should come from within. It's rooted in your values, character, accomplishments, and how you carry yourself in the world. When you let someone else decide your worth, you put yourself on an emotional roller coaster. If she praises you, you feel great. If she criticizes or withdraws, you feel inadequate. This constant need for external validation can erode your confidence and make you overly dependent on her perception of you. Let's look at a scenario. Imagine a man who feels insecure about his career or appearance. He constantly seeks reassurance from his partner, asking questions like, "Do you think I'm good enough?" Or, "Are you proud of me?" While occasional affirmation is natural and healthy, relying on it too much shifts the balance of the relationship. Over time, the woman may feel burdened by his neediness, and he may feel resentful if she doesn't provide the validation he craves. The truth is, no one can complete you or fill the gaps in your self-esteem. A relationship should be a partnership of two whole individuals who uplift each other, not a dynamic where one person's sense of self is tied to the other's opinions. When you know your worth, you radiate confidence, which is not only attractive, but also sets the tone for how you expect to be treated. Protect your self-worth by nurturing your self-confidence. Focus on your achievements, values, and strengths. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, and engage in activities that bring you fulfillment and purpose. When you're grounded in your own worth, you'll approach relationships with a sense of security and balance. Remember, a woman who truly values you will never try to diminish your sense of self. She'll respect and appreciate the man you are, just as you should. Never let someone else's opinion become the measure of your value. 9. Never give her unconditional forgiveness. Without accountability. Forgiveness is a cornerstone of any healthy relationship, but it must be balanced with accountability. Never allow forgiveness to become a one-sided, unconditional pass for repeated disrespect, manipulation, or harmful behavior. Doing so not only undermines your self-worth, but also sets a precedent for toxic patterns in the relationship. In any relationship, mistakes are inevitable. People argue, hurt each other unintentionally, or make poor decisions. Forgiving a woman when she's genuinely remorseful and willing to change is a sign of maturity and compassion. However, consistently excusing harmful behavior without holding her accountable only enables the cycle to continue. Let's consider an example. A man finds out his partner consistently breaks his trust, whether by lying, flirting with others, or disregarding agreed-upon boundaries. Each time she apologizes, and he forgives her without discussing the root of the issue or enforcing any changes. Over time, the pattern continues because there are no consequences or expectations for growth. Eventually, the man becomes resentful, and the woman loses respect for him because he allowed the behavior to persist. Forgiveness should never mean tolerating repeated disrespect or abuse. True forgiveness comes with a commitment to resolve issues and prevent them from happening again. This requires honest communication, mutual effort, and sometimes tough conversations about what's acceptable in the relationship. When you forgive someone unconditionally without expecting change, you send the message that your feelings and boundaries don't matter. This can lead to a loss of respect from your partner and even self-loathing over time. Instead, establish clear boundaries and communicate your expectations for moving forward. If she values the relationship, she'll make the necessary changes to rebuild trust. It's also essential to recognize when forgiveness has reached its limit. If someone repeatedly hurts you and shows no intention of changing, it may be time to walk away. Not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Forgiveness is powerful, but it should never come at the expense of your peace, dignity, or emotional health. In the end, healthy relationships thrive on accountability, mutual respect, and a willingness to grow together. Forgive when it's warranted, but never let forgiveness become an excuse for someone to disregard your worth. Thank you for taking the time to hear these important insights. Remember, maintaining your boundaries and self-respect is key to building a strong, balanced relationship. If you found this message valuable, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss another empowering video.